We weren't scheduled to start until 9:15, but we will start a few minutes early so everybody can get set up. All right. Okay, welcome everyone to the Pro Trade Room Plus, the market open and consumer confidence. My name is Lee Goldstein, the trading director at 10 Minute Trades. Please remember, all the trades we discuss for educational purposes. I am not a financial advisor. It is possible to lose money trading futures. All right. Any questions? All right. So, market open. We've been trading the MNQ and we've been trading the YM, right? MNQ, YM. All right. So, today is the kind of morning where not a gigantic big morning for market opens. Just from my way of thinking, I preferably prefer when there's huge news. I love market opens like when GDP comes out, when CPI, PPI, jobs reports. I love market opens under those conditions. Consumer confidence has been performing poorly, but we'll get to it at 9:30. It has not been performing well. So it's definitely not a cash trade, Ross. It's not a cash trade. And I agree, Calvin. And I said that yesterday. This is a holiday week. The trading's going to get more and more uneven as we get further and further along in the week. And if you want to be honest, everyone, let's take a quick look at the schedule, right? So I would trade NVIDIA, and I'm going to trade NVIDIA with cash. I'll trade GDP, understanding GDP has a history of being a very difficult report to trade, but I'll trade the market open on Thursday because GDP could affect the market open. Everything else is nothing very exciting to trade, being honest. I'm telling you now. This is not a week of great trading events. Pending homes is a very small moving home sale report. Marvell and Dell, not good earnings. Probably shouldn't have had that room, to be honest. That's being honest. And actually, we're not going to have the Thursday trade room because we will be in the challenge. So we're not going to have a trade room for the Thursday auction. I'll make sure that gets updated. Thursday, we're at noon in the challenge. Now, Friday, PCE price. That's been a report that we just don't have a consistent setup. It's just a collection of very difficult reports this week. Chicago PMI, look, it's been up, it's been downgraded to watch. It's been trading so poorly. So it's nobody's fault that there's a collection of very difficult reports this week. It's just how they fell. It's just how they fell. PCE prices definitely has a possibility of moving the market. One of the big issues is it's been different setups, inconsistent setups. Okay, Canada GDP doesn't has no setup. Honest, it's not a tradable report. Um, Revised University of Consumer has been quite inconsistent. I mean, I'm just telling you the truth. We're facing a lot of inconsistent reports this week. It is what it is. Sometimes it happens. I'll still trade a bunch of them in my less meaningful prop accounts to test setups and to see how things are going with our setups. But I would be extremely careful. Extremely careful. And I'll make sure everybody's clear. API, there's no trade room, right? Because it's been not trading well. We have to be honest. Some weeks you want to just trade the best of the best. And some weeks there might only be a couple of great events to trade. All right, let's talk about the open. So we've been trading the MNQ opens. They've been working very nicely. MNQ 925. And we have a special account that we trade the opens in, and we have a YM open. I'm a little bit more prone to cancel my YM opens, depending where everything falls into place on the setups. Donald, it's still not working? Is it still not working? It absolutely should be working. All right. Market open on the MNQ setup. Right click the chart, click strategy, double click news trader. It's a breakout trade. And what I'm going to do is load my template. And I'm going to look for MNQ open. And the MNQ open, we have a template. We're going to trigger at 929.59. We have a 30 bracket. Position 1 is a 1. Position 2 is a 1. Target 1 is 25. Target 2 is 50. Our stop is 150. If our first target gets hit, we're going to move the stop to break even minus 20. That seems to keep us in the trade if our first target is hit. All right. Bracket of 30, targets of 25 and 50. Stop is 150, and it does shrink if the first target gets hit to BE minus 20. And then we always check our bracket by setting the time to 0. In sim, You always need to do that in sim. You want to check your brackets in simulation so you don't accidentally get filled, right? And we don't want our brackets that wide because it's too hard to trade that way. And we don't want them like this because that's too hard to trade. You want them nicely spread apart so you can manage the trade when you get filled. All right? So now, yeah, right click the chart. Here's the setup. So it's going to be a breakout trade. All right? Carry. Oh, do I have a question for you? It's a breakout trade. We are going to trigger the breakout trade at 9:29:59. I'm using a bracket of 30 on the MNQ. Bracket of 30. Position 1 is a 1, position 2 is a 1. That means one contract for each position. Target 1 is 25 ticks. Target 2 is 50 ticks. Our stop is 150 ticks. Remember, MNQ is only 50 cents. Only 50 cents per tick. It's not a lot. $75 a contract. And it's always approximate. The stop is not ever, the stop is usually a guide. It's not a guarantee. You have to understand that a stop is not a guarantee. Bracket of 30, position 1 is a 1, position 2 is a 1, target 1 is 25, target 2 is 50, stop is 150. Let me get my laptop on the stream. I completely forgot to set the stream up properly. And if it hits target 1, we're going to move our stop to BE minus 20. Simply that means is if we hit target 1, our stop is going to go from 150 all the way to BE minus 20. All right? It's going to be a manageable stop, much smaller. All right? That's the setup. It's a breakout. Don't forget, choose the account that you're trading in. We are trading it in our market open prop account. I am going to test the brackets by making the time 0 for a moment. I have a label, MNQ open. Apply it and OK it, and that will show you the brackets, right? Which we did before. Here's our brackets. Not too wide, not too narrow. Now I'm just going to go back, right-click the chart, click strategy, put our time back to 9:29:59. And now we're ready. I just have to put the software account on our market open account, apply it, OK it, put chart trader on our market open account, and turn it on in the control panel by enabling it. Now, I'm also going to add a second instrument, a second setup to this chart. Right-click the chart, click strategy, double-click news trader. I'm adding a second strategy to this chart, a reverse continuation. So the trade type is now a reverse continuation. Position 1 is going to be a 2. Going to have 2 contracts at position 1. And that's all I'm doing. I'm making it simple. We'll do a 50 target. Everything else is 0 until you get to the stop. So I've got position 1 is a 2. That's 2 contracts on position 1. My target is 50 ticks. My stop is going to be 75. I'm going to trade this in the same account as the market open trade. So I'm not going to use this discretionary possible entry unless I want to get back in when our breakout is over. The account is 15, my market open account, and I'm going to label it MNQ reverse continue. Apply it, okay it, turn it on by checking the enable box. And we get our buttons, instant long, instant short. Now, we also have our YM one contract market open trade. YM one contract market open. Right click the chart, click on strategy, double click news trader. So it shows up under configured. Now it's a trade type as a breakout. Now I've already got a template. Let me load the template. So I'm going down to template and I'm loading it. YM open, right? I have a YM open. And I date everything. This way I know which is the right template because I have a billion templates. It's August 12th. But one contract, so it's going to be my August 22nd one contract YM. That's how we're trading it to reduce risk right now. So now my template is loaded in. Let's go over the settings. It's a breakout trade. Activate 929.59. Bracket 40. One position 1. Target 50. Stop 35. If the market moves X ticks, make that a 25. Move the stop to break even 20 ticks. That's a 20. So that's a feature in the software that if we trade one contract, we can make the stop move if the market moves X ticks in our favor. So it's sort of like trading a two contract trade, but you don't get out. You just move your stop into profit if you get a profitable move in your favor. It's a fantastic feature in the software that lets you simulate a two contract trade with one contract and still protect the profit if the trade goes against you after first going in your direction. So to explain that one more time, we have a 50 tick target. All right, target 1 is 50. If the market moves 25 ticks, move the stop to break even plus 20. That's what those two fields do. If market moves X ticks, and that's a 25, move the stop to BEX ticks, break even, plus 20. So that's what that does. It lets you trade the open with the YM with only one contract to keep your risk down. And then the account we're trading it in is our same account, our 15, and it's already labeled YM open, one contract. And we always check the brackets by setting the time to 0. The first two numbers go to 0. Always put your software account on SIM if you test your brackets along with us. Apply it and okay it. Make sure your chart trader is on SIM so you see the orders. If it's on a different account than what you're looking at, you won't see the orders. So if your software has chosen account 15 for the trade and your chart trader is on SIM, you will not see the orders until you put your chart trader on 15. Okay? But right now, it's on SIM. So chart trader must match the account you've chosen to trade on, or you won't see your orders. Here's our brackets. All right. We're nicely in the middle of highs and lows, so we could get a move in any direction on the open. It's a little bit Negative, not much. I think we'll get a gap fill this morning, maybe, because it's so small. Now we're going to go back. I'm going to put the time back to 9:29:59, our trigger time. 40 bracket, one position. Position one is a 1. 50 target, 35 stop. If the market moves, 25 ticks. Right above that, move stop BEX ticks, 20. Move the stop to break even plus 20. Make sure your time is 9:29:59. Then check your account under setup. Account should be whatever account you're trading on. I have my market open prop account. Apply it, okay it. Put chart trader on the market open prop account. Turn on the trade by checking the enabled box. And now we're going to add that second setup. We almost always add a second setup to most charts. Hey Donald, so you never answered. Does it work now? Right click the chart, click strategy. Double click news trader. We're adding a second setup. It's going to be not a breakout, but a reverse continue. Just one position. Just one position. Let's do a 30 tick target. And we'll do a 30 tick stop. One position, 30 target, 30 stop. And then we're going to trade it in our 15. So we'll turn that on as well. Label it YM reverse continue. This is so that if your breakout doesn't work and you want to get back in a discretionary manner, you have one YM contract you can trade. And then we'll apply it and okay it. You could make it 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. When you enable a reverse continuation trade, you get an instant long button and an instant short button. Obviously, you don't want to press those buttons unless you want to enter the trade. Now, Burning Man, isn't that a music festival, Calvin? That's a music festival, isn't it? Yeah, TJ, yep. I don't know much about that one. I was waiting to buy tickets to the Fire Festival, FYRE. I heard they're doing a new one. I want to get tickets to the Fire Festival, FYRE. Just kidding. That's the festival where they took everyone's money and the guy's out of jail and he was doing another fire festival. I mean, I don't know what's going on in this world. I just don't know. It's crazy. Life is crazy. It's a get drunk, naked, and high festival. Well, we do that in the trade room every morning. We get drunk, we get high, and we trade naked. It's the only way to trade. I could be trading naked, no one would ever know. Actually, I could prove that I'm not. Actually, you can see me on YouTube. We're streaming. And I think I just blew the video off. I think. All right, we got 2 minutes. I don't understand the Burning Man festival. That's one I just didn't read anything about it. I know nothing about it. We're going to stay in the room for CB consumer confidence after this. So now we're just waiting for Godot. I heard it's not pronounced Godot anymore. Waiting for Godot? Godot? I don't know how it's pronounced anymore, but it's not Godot, is what I was told. Nothing stays the same. It's one of the most famous books ever written, right? It's not like Khalil Gibran. What did Khalil Gibran write? I can't remember. And it's not like Naked Lunch, William Burroughs. It's not like, well, that's enough. Books. The Prophet, thank you. The Prophet. Ah, it's a play. That's right, author. It's a play. All right, so our brackets are going to show up soon. Our MNQ opens, they've been working nicely. But opens, they can be tough. We're going to get brackets on the YM. We're going to get brackets on the NQ. Now, all right, so I lost 50 cents on my MNQ trade. 50 cents. Why? Because the break even minus 20, right? Break even minus 20. I'm taking a long on my MNQ account. Um, the break even minus 20, it just stopped out, right? I'm canceling the YM. There's just nothing going on there. It just, nothing much happened there. Nothing much happened there. It went break even minus 20, and it had some negative slippage on that. I want my stop below the VWAP on the MNQ, below the VWAP. And the YM just didn't do much of anything. And I'm just going to close out my MNQ for a $30 profit. Small winner. I think it's going to test the high. What do you all think? It looks like it wants to go test the high. The YM may go test the high also. It may go test the high also. Do I want to get back in on the MNQ? I don't like getting back in over and over because I wind up hurting myself. But it really looks like you're going to get a test of that high. I think I'll take my little profit and get ready, start getting ready for consumer confidence. All right. But watch, it's going to test that high. I believe it's going to test that high. I'll do a stop below the candle. I still think the stop should be below the VWAP. I really do. But really, below all of this consolidation area would be fine. And then the market open right there. Come on, pop up. I want to get ready. Uh, the market open right there last night is where I kind of took my trade out, a little scalp. So two small winners. YM, if you stayed in, looks like it's a good long. I don't like those slow opens, but they're okay. It is working. The YM is working. And I do believe the MNQ is going to test that high. Watch. Let's watch for a minute. It's a double magnet. Why is it a double magnet? You got the PP and the high. So PP is a pretty strong pivot. Um, it really looks like it's going there. It looks like it's going there. And I was just strictly trading on the price action, really. That's all. Let's just watch for a minute and then we'll start talking about CB consumer confidence. I'm turning off my YM breakout. Okay, that's gone. But you still have the other setups. You still have your other setups. You've got your reverse continue on the YM and the MNQ. If you're a scalper, you had opportunity to get into the YM as a scalp. You can still get in if you think it's going to test the high. The MNQ hasn't tested it yet, but it's been darn close. A test of the high is like 2 ticks away. For me, it's got to go 2 ticks away from the high. That's a test. Doesn't have to touch it. In reality, our magnet trade says 3 ticks because that's where we get out of our target one on a magnet trade. All right. So made $51 on the MNQ market open. And you know what? That's trading micros. That's trading micros. It's next week I think I'm going to go over to the regular NQ and or trade micros. I want to start using our cash account for the opens. Probably do MNQ on the cash account and maybe full size on one of our prop accounts. That's what I'm thinking about for next week. Nitin almost always trades full size NQ and full size YM, and I think he's doing pretty well. So I'm turning off these trades. We're going over to consumer confidence. So let's head over there. Consumer confidence, we have a gold chart. GC 1225. What? What? What is that? What is that? Somebody, help me out here. What is that? Hold on. What is going on here? Did I accidentally put an indicator on that I don't know what it is? That's outrageous. That's crazy. It's a VWAP cloud. How did my VWAP get a cloud? Standard deviation bands. I don't think it is. Hold on. No, it's not. It's not. 8:30. Hang on, folks. Let me put my VWAP back on. So the VWAP, order flow VWAP, standard deviation bands, none. Make the line a 2. All right. Apply it and OK it. And there's our VWAP. I have no idea what that. This is one of those mornings, folks. All right. I'm not spending time on it. I don't think I have an extra gold chart that I want to mess with. That's not going to bother me. Oh, I know. I know. I know. Nope. Nope. It's a big mystery. It's not showing up in my indicators. I swear. It is not showing up in my indicators. All right. Let's look at the DMM. The DMM on consumer confidence. Let's look at now. Last month, we cannot look at what consumer confidence did because it traded with the JOLTS report. But here's what's crazy. The JOLTS report has been one of the most volatile, large moving reports that we've had. And there was like no response to the news last month. Nothing happened. JOLTS and consumer confidence. Watch. JOLTS and consumer confidence. We've had an ES trap trade and we've had a gold trade. Gold on the right really didn't move very much at all. It just did not have that big of a move. And the ES didn't come anywhere near close to filling our trap trade. That was last month on JOLTS with consumer confidence. The month before, in June, is consumer confidence pretty much by itself. We've had an MNQ as a secondary setup. It's been difficult, very honestly. We took away family money trade from consumer confidence. It is not currently behaving like a family money trade. Here's June. Gold in the middle. MNQ on the left. Whipsaw on MNQ. Very choppy. Missed our stop by about 2 ticks. Not great behavior. The number that shows up in the news made no sense. Also, it was not 5.4. It was probably 95.4. But if you notice, the MNQ was terrible. It was just a terrible reaction. And you could see gold did not have any kind of tradable follow through. It was not good. So we have 2 in a row, although again, last month, JOLTS really affects this event. JOLTS actually becomes the event that we're trading. It's more important than consumer confidence, believe it or not. Again, 3 months ago, we had a trap on gold and a breakout on MNQ. This is 3 months ago. Let's see how this performed. MNQ was decent. All right, was fairly normal. Not phenomenal though. It did a quick reversal and then it pulled back, went back up. But overall, the MNQ was decent, I would say. And then gold has been nothing but trouble, as we like to say, as RoboCop likes to say, trouble. There's going to be trouble. It fills short, doesn't follow through enough to hit a target, and reverses and fails. All right? So gold breakouts not looking good on this report at all. Not looking good on this report at all. And in fact, if we look at the DMM, I'll buy that for $1. It's one of my all-time favorite movies. If we look at the DMM, look at July, remember it was jolts. It doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean anything. We don't have the trap trade on this setup. We do have an MNQ breakout. MNQ breakouts are pretty low risk. When you have a trade that's performing poorly, and it has shown in the past that it moves somewhat on the MNQ or the NQ, you can trade the MNQ as a low risk alternative. So, being honest, that's what we have here today. There's a temptation for me, because I am a very crazy person, there's a temptation to take this trade with a gold breakout, expecting a return to the mean. Return to the mean trade. Meaning you've got a trade that's performing terribly, but it's high time for it to have a great breakout. A great one. But that is super high risk, not recommended for cash. And you have to understand, if you take it, that's extreme risk. Because you look at the performance is awful. Win, stop, 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 cancel, stop over the last 6 months. That's a report. It's certainly not a family money trade. And it's also, maybe not a trade you want to take. Might be a trade you just want to watch it for a couple of months and see what's wrong with it, or if it comes back to normal. There's no law that says you got to trade it. Just because we sent out a sheet, we made a special note, not a family money trade. I would expect everyone to be cautious, okay? To be cautious. So what I'll do is I'll set up an MNQ 0925, all right? MNQ breakout. It's a 9:59:59. Now, I do have to leave right at as soon as we're done with this report. I don't have much time for an after the news trade today on this. 9:59:59 is our trigger. The bracket is 30. We've got targets of 20 and 59. The stop is 100. It's $50 roughly per contract, okay? And should it hit the first target, I would do a break even -7. All right. BE -7 on the target one stop move, and the stop is 100. All right. And then we're going to scroll down. Going to label it breakout MNQ. Breakout MNQ. I'm going to check the bracket by making the time 0 for a moment. Making sure we're on SIM, right? The account's on SIM. Apply it. Okay it. Put the chart trader on SIM. Enable the trade in SIM. See, the brackets were so tight. I don't want to trade with brackets that tight, so I immediately turned off the trade. I don't want to get filled. These are pretty small brackets for this trade. It could be 40 on the brackets. It could be 40 on the brackets. Let's see if the market calms down a bit. as we get closer to 10. So right click, strategy, we're going to trigger at 9:59:59. The bracket is 30. Position 1 is a 1, one contract. Position 2 is a 1, also one contract for each bracket, each level. Target 1 is 20, target 2 is 59, stop is 100. Target 1 stop move is BE minus 7, break even minus 7. And I'll trade this in a prop account where I trade lots of things. It's labeled, so that'll be number 18. Let me trade it in 20. 20's up 60 bucks on the day. So let's trade it in 20. The NQ is selling off right now. I'm looking to see if there's any, I do think that this is a lot of the Fed. That's the news I'm seeing. The dollar's falling on the news of him trying to fire the Fed person. I think I'm going to make the bracket of 40, everybody. The market's pretty volatile. All right. I'm going to make the bracket a little bigger. If it doesn't fill, or if it, leaves all the money in the brackets, it's the MNQ. It's not going to destroy any account. So I'm just going to change the bracket to it a little bit. Here's what I think is crazy. I'll bet you that consumer confidence is up. Somehow, with all the insanity going on in the world and in this country, consumer confidence will probably be up. And then what I will do is also set up an MNQ second trade, right? I only have 5 minutes after this trade, so I can't stay in one. I probably won't take an extra trade, but we set one up almost always. So we double click news trader, we change breakout trade to reverse continue. Position 1 will make a 2. That means there's 2 contracts. I'm just going to trade 2 contracts only with a target of 50. So I have a position size 2, a target of 50, and a stop of 50. All right, that's the scalp. It's trading in the same account as our breakout, right? Same account as our breakout. But I'm labeling it MNQ, reverse continue, because that's what it is. Same account. I think we did 18. Apply it, okay it. Yep. And turn it on. So now we have an MNQ breakout with the ability to enter if the breakout works or doesn't work. And then gold, we have to set up the breakout to see if it's going to work. And I'll trade that in the account that got damaged this morning on that durable goods that I absolutely said not to trade. And this is another warning. This is not a good report to trade a gold breakout under any circumstances. I am literally just trading it to test the setup. I think it's possible we might get a return to the mean, but I would not trade this. Okay, this is because we make the setups. I want to see it. I want to see how it does. It's a breakout, 9. If you love high risk, you could trade it. It's high risk because it hasn't been behaving. It's a bracket of 12. One position for 10 ticks. Second target of 25 ticks. BE minus 5 if it hits the first target. Target 1 stop move, BE minus 5. And our stop is 20. BRK breakout GC is my label. All right. And we do the same thing with almost every setup. We test the brackets. We test brackets. Okay, that's a good bracket. We need to get our news on the screen. We'll put our time back to 9:59:59, bracket of 12, one target of 10 ticks, a second target of 25 ticks, stop of 20 ticks, BE minus 5, right? Whoops, we want to be 18 on this, not 20, sorry. 18. So remember what I said. Most everyone really should just be watching this report. It has not been behaving well. Okay? Has not been behaving well. I'm testing because we create the setups. So they're looking, let's see what they're looking for. Now, Richmond Fed is also trading with this report. We never use the word never and always in trading. We just don't. But I will tell you this, Richmond always, always comes out early. Watch. Richmond will come out 30 to 45 seconds early because it always does. Isn't that crazy? Don't know why it does that. Doesn't really affect the market, doesn't ruin the trade. Every single time we trade Richmond with another report, because we never trade it by itself, it's always early, 30 to 45 seconds. So look, the smart thing to do on a report like this, trade a magnet, trade after the news. You don't need to trade a very poorly performing report exactly as the news is released. I'm honestly just, like I said, testing the setups. That's it. That's it. And for us, it's just part of the cost of doing business on some reports. You know, if you're trading in a cash account, if I'm not working here and I'm home in my home office trading news, this is just not a report. I'm trading at the exact moment of the news. I might look for an opportunity after the news. It's a simple concept. Trade the best of the best. Trade the best of the best. We repeat it over and over and over again, right? Over and over. 2 minutes. Now, I'm very curious about the gold breakout. There hasn't been a good gold breakout in 6 months. Looking at the DMM, yes, it moved what? 20 ticks last month with jolts. That doesn't count. So it's 5 months, right? Since a good performing breakout. But that sometimes can be a return to the mean. What do we mean when we say a return to the mean? If a trade is a breakout trade that over history has been a good breakout, very often after a period of bad performance, it will start to return back to the mean and become a good breakout again. Okay. All right. Richmond is out. What did I say? 30 to 45 seconds early. It was 20 seconds early. Richmond's out. Always. And we never use the word always in trading. MNQ on the left, gold on the right. I would cancel the gold trade. Poor reaction. Poor reaction. Okay? Poor reaction. I don't want to be in it. I don't want to be in it. All right? The news is good. What I tell you, consumer confidence would be good. Looks like the MNQ hit target one and then stopped, right? That's what happened. Gold might have worked. Might have worked. Maybe I was too quick. Too quick to get out. Too quick to get out. The one reason you could have stayed in gold, the news was better than expected. That does push down. That does push down. Let's look at the video very quickly. Take a quick look at the video. Let me render it. So we had the market open and consumer. We did hit our first target on the MNQ and then it stopped. So it was a small winner. Let me get rid of the clock. All right, so here we go. Watching the MNQ on the left. So it looks like it fills long, hits the first target, and then reverses. You can barely see it with the naked eye, but that's what it did. And then gold at the time of the news, so it was at 22. It chopped, sat, just sat. So if you stayed in gold, if you stayed, the fill would have been 21.20, all right? The fill short would have been 21.20. So gold would have been 21.20. So here's 21. Let's say here's 21.20. Let's say the fill was at 21, that you had 2 ticks of slippage. So gold wound up moving 22 ticks. So it would have worked to the downside as a breakout. Gold would have worked. Okay? And then it did a quick reversal off that. It would not have hit the second target. The second target was more than that move down. So you would have had moved your stop. You would have had to have moved your stop on gold to protect that first target. Okay? Or if you got filled at 21.20 or at 21, we said, you'd still be in the trade because it was a 20 tick stop. You'd still be in the trade. And look, it's working in your favor. So gold would have worked. All right? It would have worked. It had a delayed response to the news. We do see that. We do see that. I'm extremely, what's the word, conservative these days on reports that haven't been performing well. So that's that. All right, everybody? That's the room for today. I'll see everybody back here for the challenge. I'll see everybody at 3 p.m. in the challenge, okay? So I'll see everybody at 3 p.m. in the classroom. I've posted the links a million times. Let me post it for everyone. If you want to come, even if you haven't registered, you can still register. It's no problem. So I'll see everybody 3 o'clock in the classroom. And thank you everybody on YouTube for joining with us. Hit the notification bell so you know the next time we're streaming, and I'll see everybody later.